So for this lesson, our goal is to illustrate quadratic inequalities, solve quadratic inequalities, and to solve problems involving quadratic inequalities. Let us learn more about quadratic inequalities. So quadratic inequality is a mathematical statement that relates a quadratic equation as either less than or greater than the other. Inequality, ibig sabihin, hindi equal. Kaya, ang mga symbol na gagamitin natin ay hindi equal sign, kundi greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. These four symbols are used to denote quadratic inequalities. And here are some examples of quadratic inequality. So we have x squared minus 1 is greater than 3. And x squared plus 1 is less than 5. Another examples would be 2y squared is less than y squared plus 3y minus 1. 0 is less than or equal to y squared plus 3y minus 15. So, ayan. Regarding dito sa example na to, dito sa apat na example, quadratic pa din ang pinag-uusapan natin. And by definition, ang highest degree should be 2. O ang highest exponent ng ating leading coefficients ay dapat 2. So, maiba-iba man ang variables niyan, ang makikita dapat nating exponent dyan na pinakamataas ay 2. Okay? Another examples is itong dalawa. Ayan. So, dito muna tayo. We have the product of a plus 3 and 2a minus 2 is greater than or equal to 7. And the product of a plus 1 and 2a minus 3 is greater than 5. So, in these examples, naalala nyo, di ba, kapag minultiply natin yung itong dalawang binomials na to, magiging quadratic trinomial ang sagot. So, basta i-check nyo lang if linear binomial at same variables ang ginamit. Okay? Ito naman yung mga non-examples or not considered as quadratic inequalities. So we have x plus 5 is greater than 9. Kahit na greater than yung symbol na ginamit dito, the reason is that the highest degree is 1. So dapat squared. Okay? Or ang highest exponent ng ating variable ay dapat 2. So we have another example, m cubed is less than m squared plus 3m minus 15. So alam niyo na naman kung ano yung reason, di ba? The highest degree is 3. Okay? So dapat po 2 ang ating highest exponent or yung highest degree. And next example, the product of a plus 1 and 2a minus 3 is equal to 5. So, bakit kaya ito hindi example ng quadratic inequality? Siyempre, kasi ito ay isang equation. So, naalala nyo, dapat yung apat na symbol lang ang gagamitin natin sa quadratic inequalities. Kapag equal sign na yan, hindi na yan inequality. Equation na ang tawag dyan. Okay? Now that we know the definition of quadratic inequalities, let us now solve problems involving it. Here are some terms that we will encounter in solving quadratic inequalities. First is the solution set. Ano ba itong solution set? Kung sa equation, meron tayong solution, sa inequalities naman ang tawag ay solution set. And it can be written as a set and can be illustrated through a number line. Okay? Then we have the critical points and interval. Di ba sa equation, meron tayong solution o yung mga tinatawag nating roots. Dito naman sa inequality, critical points muna ang tawag sa mga numbers na yon kasi hindi pa talaga sila yung final answer natin. Pero, kailangan natin yung mga numbers na yon to obtain the solution set sa pamamagitan ng mga intervals. Okay? Then, we have the test points. Ito naman yung mga numbers na matatagpuan o makukuha natin sa loob ng mga intervals. Tayo ang mamimili niyan at gagamitin natin ito para ma-determine kung ano sa mga interval ang solution set natin. Okay? Next is, to illustrate the solution set on the number line, we need to consider the inequality symbols used in the given quadratic inequality. So, we have here the table of reference. Ano ang kaibahan ng dalawang bilog na ito, yung ating hollow circle at solid circle? Kapag may underline, yung inequality symbol natin, tulad nitong dalawang ito, we have the less than or equal to and the greater than or equal to. Ang symbol na gagamitin natin sa number line is the solid circle. Okay, ibig sabihin, yung mismong value na tinutukoy natin is included sa solution set. Okay? And then kapag hollow circle naman, ibig sabihin, hindi siya kasama. Siya yung boundary. Okay? So, let us have some example para mas maunawaan ninyo. So, we have x is less than or equal to 0. So, tingnan nyo. Solid circle yung ginamit natin sa number line. Ibig sabihin, kasama or included yung 0 sa solution set. Okay, so 0 at lahat ng number na mas mababa sa 0 is part of the solution set. Another example is dito, ayan, hollow circle naman. Ngayon, we have x is greater than 0. So, we have the arrow papunta dito sa ating right side. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng value ng x na mas mataas pa kaysa sa 0 or lahat ng numbers na mas mataas pa sa 0 ay ang ating solution set. Okay, now looking at these two examples, pansinin nyo yung direction ng arrow at yung inequality symbol. So may pattern, di ba? Ayan, at ayan, ayan, at ayan. So, bahala na kayo kung may dun sa pattern ha. Basta yan yung clue natin to graph the solution set. Ayan. Dumako naman tayo sa mga steps kung paano mag-solve ng quadratic inequality. Importante na alam nyo kung ano ang standard form at marunong mag-transform ng mga rational algebraic expressions or equations to standard form of quadratic equation. So, na-lesson na natin yan last week, right? So, after nun, susolve natin yung roots. Pero dito, hindi pa yun yung final answer. Critical points muna sila. From there, we will have the intervals and afterwards, pipili na kayo ng test points from the intervals and then graphing the solution set. Okay? So, yun yung ating mga steps. So, para mas malinawan tayo, let us have the following problem. Find the solution set of 3x squared minus 3x minus 18 is less than or equal to 0. So, for the solution, ayan, lagi tayong nagsisimula sa ating given. Always write the given first para alam ninyo yung tuloy-tuloy na steps natin. And then for step 1, transform the given quadratic inequality into quadratic equation. So, ayan, anong nangyari? Ginawa lang nating equal sign yung ating inequality. Step 2. Solve for the roots or the critical points. you may use the different methods in solving quadratic equations. Ano nga ulit yung apat na methods? So first, by extracting square roots, by factoring, by completing the square, and by using the quadratic formula. Since dito, naka-standard form na siya, alam na natin yung values ng A, B, at C. Okay? So, mas madali kung i-apply natin yung quadratic formula kasi isa-substitute mo lang and then isi-simplify, tapos na. Okay? So, dito, again, pwedeng mag-quadratic formula na kayo diretso. But, in this example, ang gagamitin ko na method ay ang factoring. Bakit? Para mas marami kayong makitang example ng method na yon, okay? Kasi kapag ginamit ko dito yung quadratic formula, mabilis lang. Maski kayo, kayang-kaya nyo na. So, paano kung yung iba gustong mag-explore? So, I will use factoring to solve for the solution set. Okay? So, I will have the AC method kasi, naalala nyo ba? Ang value ng ating A is greater than 1. So, AC method ang ating i-apply dito. So, paano nga ulit ang ating AC method? Remove A and multiply it to C. So, kita nyo, tinanggal natin dito yung 3, minultiply natin siya kay 18. Okay? So, we have x squared minus 3x minus 54 is equal to 0. This is now our new equation. So, if a-factor natin itong ating bagong equation na yan. So, alam niyo na naman po paano, right? So, we have x plus 6 or the quantity of x plus 6 times the quantity of x minus 9 is equal to 0. Okay, so nasa yellow box yung explanation, bakit yan ang factors niya. And then afterwards, we need to solve for x. We will apply the zero product property and solve for x by APE natin. So, hatiin lang natin for the two solutions. So, we have x plus 6 is equal to 0. Apply lang natin yung APE, kaya naging x is equal to negative 6. And then, di ba sa AC method, gagamitin mo yung value na ni-remove mo as the divisor kapag nasa last part ka na ng steps for solving the roots. Kaya yung negative 6 natin dito, dinivide natin sa 3. Okay? Ayan na, huwag kayong magtataka dito sa part na to. Meron tayong discussion regarding dyan tungkol sa AC method. That's why ang x natin is equal to negative 2. And for x minus 9 is equal to 0, same solution. Divide lang natin dun sa ni-remove natin kanina. So we have 9 divided by 3 and we have x is equal to 3. So, hindi pa tayo tapos. Critical points pa lang tayo, guys. Okay? Ayan, note natin. Critical points, negative 2 and 3. So, we have step 3. Okay? Now, use the roots to obtain the intervals. So, ano ba itong mga intervals na to? Guys, huwag kayo malilito, ha? Dito lang sa inequalities ginagamit ang salitang critical points to describe the roots. Ngayon na alam na natin ang mga critical points, alamin na natin ang mga intervals. Ma'am, paano namin malalaman ang mga intervals? Makakatulong kung i-graph muna natin yung mga critical points sa number line. Okay? So, ayan. So, we have the graph. Ganyan lang naman ang graph natin kahit hindi na yan isang mahabang line. Basta kita mo yung critical points. So, we have negative 2 and 3. Tapos, i-check nyo yung inequality symbol. In this example, it is less than, it is less than or equal to. Kaya yung ating ginamit na mga circles ay solid. Okay? So, sa mga intervals natin, since meron tong underline, lahat ng magiging intervals natin, ang inequality symbol nila ay may underline din. Kapag walang underline from the original inequality, edi wala din yung mga intervals natin. Okay? So, next, sa dalawang roots or critical points natin, merong lower value at mayroong higher value sa number line. Ayan. So, ang lower value natin is -2, higher value naman natin ay 3. Kaya dito sa interval, meron tayong, ayan, x is less than or equal to -2. O ito yung mga values or numbers na mas mababa or equal sa -2. X is greater than or equal to -2 but less than or equal to +3. Ito naman yung mga numbers o values na nasa pagitan ng dalawang roots o nasa pagitan ng ating dalawang critical points. And then the last interval, we have x is greater than or equal to 3. Ito naman yung mga numbers na mas mataas or equal sa 3. Okay? So, ayan. Yan yung tatlong intervals natin. So, nakita nyo, parang hinati lang natin yung number line natin. Okay? So, lakihan lang natin yung graph natin ha. Ito rin yung kanina. Kasi magsusolve tayo, kaya ginanito natin siya. So, dito, huwag kayong magulat. Nilagyan lang natin ng mga values yung number line natin. Ito yung critical points natin. -2 and +3. Yung mga numbers na mas mababa sa -2. Mga numbers na nasa pagitan. And yung mga numbers na mas mataas pa kaysa sa 3. Ayan, naka-highlight naman yung ating mga critical points, diba? Okay? At ito yung mga intervals. Sinulat lang natin dyan. Step 4, choose a test point in each interval to determine the solution set. Huwag nyo isasama sa pagpili ng test points yung mga critical points ha. Pumili kayo ng ibang number. Okay? So, in this interval, ayan, dito sa interval na to, mga numbers na mas mabababa or equal sa -2, kahit anong number, yan, ayan, basta't mababa. So, dito ang napili natin ay -3. Dito naman sa interval na to, kahit anong number na nasa pagitan ng -2 at 3, so ang napili natin ay 0. Kapag ako, lagi kong pinipili ang 0. Okay? Next naman, sa interval na to, ayan, kahit anong mas mataas pa na number kaysa sa +3. Siyempre, dito, 4. Next is determine the solution set. Nakapili na tayo ng test point. So, alamin na natin kung ano yung solution set dito sa tatlong intervals natin. Okay, anong bang gagawin natin dito? Isa-substitute lang natin itong mga numbers na napili nating test points doon sa original inequality. So, halimbawa dito sa first interval natin, we have 3x squared minus 3x minus 18 is less than or equal to 0. Ito yung original inequality. Palitan mo lang yung mga x, ayan, yung lahat ng x ng -3 and then you simplify. Okay, you will just replace all the variables dito. Ayan, ipalit mo itong ating test point and then simplify. And then, pag na-solve na natin, we have 18. Ngayon, ask yourself, is the inequality true? Totoo ba na ang 18 daw is less than or equal to 0? Totoo ba na ang 18 daw ay mas mababa kaysa sa 0? Of course, that is false kasi mataas ang 18, positive. Any positive number is greater than 0, kaya yan ay false. Next naman, 0. Substitute lang natin. We have -18 is less than or equal to 0. Mababa nga ba ang -18 kaysa sa 0? That is true. Okay? And for our last interval, sinubstitute natin yung 4 sa lahat ng value ng x, we have 18. So, katulad lang din ng ating naunang interval, of course, that is false. So, we have false, true, false. So, kung ano yung true, yun ang ating solution set. Therefore, the solution set of the inequality 3x squared minus 3x minus 18 is less than or equal to 0 is x is greater than or equal to negative 2 but less than or equal to 3. Ayan. I-enclose nyo lang kung anong interval yung true sa loob ng ating braces. Okay? So, step 5, graph the solution set. Ayan. So, we have solid circles kanina. Ang gagawin lang is i-highlight, kapalan yung linya, or i-darken nyo lang yung ating solution set. And that's it. That is how you solve for the solution set of the quadratic inequality. Okay?